Today, the podcast takes a turn. As we dive into the world of the paranormal, we're joined by Martin Zamora of the Undisputed crew.
I knocked my water bottle down. Heaviest, strongest, paranormal I've experienced.
You like to hang?
Whoa, look at that. Did you hear that knock?
Good morning on this special episode of the Blue 52 podcast. As it was mentioned in the beginning, we're going to be diving into some paranormal talk. For those of you who follow me on my regular social media and not the Blue 52 stuff, you guys would know that a couple of weeks ago, a good friend of mine, Martin Zamora, who has a team called the Undisputed crew, invited me to go do a paranormal investigation at a residence up in Strathmore, California. It was pretty interesting. It was really different. A lot of adrenaline. I'm not gonna lie. You watch this stuff on TV, and of course, you have your questions. Is this real? Is this not real? So, I think the biggest part for me was to take a full dive into and actually just open myself up to go out there and do it, and it was pretty fun. Joining me this morning is Martin Zamora of the Undisputed crew. Man, how's it going this morning?
How's it going? How's it going, everybody?
It's awesome to have you, man, on the podcast, because what we wanted to do ultimately was I wanted to pick your brain. I mean, we kind of did that outside when we wrapped up the investigation, and we were just talking back and forth about experiences. But let's do it on a more wider basis and get people to understand and know what this all is. So let's talk a little bit about how Undisputed crew got started. What is it, and when did you guys put it together?
Well, Undisputed started by a group of us, just the skaters. We started off as a skater crew.
Okay.
Very, very young. It was after 8th grade, after we graduated 8th grade in the summer before freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
So this was maybe 2001. And we started off as skater kids, and Undisputed was actually started by Robert Saldana, one of my buddies too.
Yeah.
He doesn't really involve himself with the paranormal. He's mostly right now in the Undisputed racing chapter of Undisputed.
Okay.
So we had Undisputed skating, Undisputed paintball, Undisputed racing, and right now paranormal.
Okay.
And there's talk in the air still. I've been talking about it for maybe 2 years about paranormal gaming, Undisputed gaming.
Okay.
So he wants to get into video gaming and professionally. He's pretty good at it, but nothing's happened with it yet.
So it's still all in the mix right now,
It's
just
still in the mix, still talk
Okay.
in the air, still in the air.
All right.
It's still an idea.
So a lot of ventures going on with you guys. You guys got a bunch of things going on at one time, which is cool. You guys are diving into a lot of different things at once. And so with the gaming, are we talking about like Twitch, Mixer, or are you guys actually looking to like get in competitions?
I think he's looking into competitions.
Okay.
I don't know too much about it. I do know about Twitch. I just found out about Twitch.tv,
Yeah.
where you play online and people watch you. But I think he wants to do more competitions that get paid for it.
Okay.
So going to places to like these big venues and
Right. Yeah, I've seen a lot of those, man. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's pretty cool, man. But let's do this. I want to talk about your guys' venture in the paranormal. How did that come about? Like what did you guys just wake up one morning being like, hey guys, let's do this, or is there something that happened that was just like, okay guys, we need to do this?
Well, it was curiosity, really.
Okay.
Just like a lot of people who watch TV, you see ghost adventures, you see other ghost hunting shows.
Yeah.
And then I just started watching that. I've always been interested in it. I just never did it. I was always afraid of it.
Yeah.
But I did study about it before, and then know a lot about it. And then I started watching these TV shows and saw how easy it is. Because I always thought it was like you have to have some skill for it.
Right.
But I saw how easy it is. All the equipment that they use, just a camera, a voice recorder that you can pick at any regular store.
Right.
And something that generates white noise. So like the static noise that you hear on a radio station where there's no feed, just static.
Yeah.
And that's all you need. So I just picked that up, very affordable, very cheaply. I already had a camera.
Yeah.
And I was kind of hesitant at first to go do an investigation, but then Tappy, my cameraman, he told me about the Strathmore house where his dad used to work at. He used to work at the orange crops right below it.
Okay.
And they went up there to the Strathmore house for lunch one day. And when they were there, they kept hearing loud footsteps on the second floor. They went in to check it out. They found nobody was there. They went back down, more footsteps. They freaked out and took off. And then Tappy told me about that, and I said, okay, well, you know what? I have the equipment. Let's go check it out. Let's do it one day.
Yeah.
And we went there. That turned out to be the first Strathmore house video where we caught what looks like a little girl coming out of the corner.
Really? Dude, that I saw that footage, and for anybody who hasn't seen it, you have it on YouTube, correct?
I have it on our YouTube channel, and if you don't follow us on YouTube and you do follow us on Facebook, you can find us on Facebook. And then there's links there to every video that I have.
Yeah.
Just click on it, and it'll redirect you to YouTube, and you'll find all the videos we've made. We've got some that are racing, and we lost a lot of the skating videos and a lot of the racing videos.
Yeah.
Because my old YouTube page somehow got deleted. I don't know what happened there. The old Undisputed page, same thing.
Yeah.
And I think it might have had something to do when I closed my old Facebook account, because everything was tied together. So my old Facebook account was having issues, so I had to close it and start a new one, and then I had to start everything all over again. But yeah, everything is there. That Strathmore House video is there. So again, I'll apologize for the bad editing. It's our first video, like I said on a comment. It was our first day.
Yeah.
On the job.
So that was the very first time you put it all together. You guys caught some amazing footage. Short of you guys actually going and watching the video, talk to us a little bit about it. Talk to us about like the nerves about going into it, and then experiencing what you guys experienced on that first night, and how long were you guys there, and is that where it was just like, guys, we need to keep doing this?
Yeah, the first time it was terrifying. We were walking up that hill. I don't even know if this is the first time. It might have been the second time. We saw a bright light. We turned back. We were scared. We thought it was the ranch owners. And then we went back. We finally got to the top. There was like nowhere where that bright light could have came from. And then we just went on with the investigation. We were still scared. Of course we were scared. We're still very fresh and very new.
Yeah.
So we're in there investigating this stuff. When we're there, we don't really catch much in person. I mean, as opposed to a few knocks here and there.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, when we finish the investigation, it's like, we didn't catch nothing. Is this stuff even real?
Right.
And then we go home and review the footage, and that's where we catch a lot of the stuff. That's how we found the little girl coming out of the corner.
Right. Which is for us. If you guys watched the video on YouTube that Martin just recently posted, that was a room that we couldn't get into, unfortunately, because there was a crap load of bees on the floor, and they were just crawling up the walls. But that was the room that you guys caught her in, right? That's the room where we caught it at. So that room, for some reason, has a lot of dead animals. You got the bees, the swarm of bees in there right now. Right. There's a dead rattlesnake skin, just tied to the wall. Yeah. Or not tied, but glued to the wall or whatever. And then there's a dead bird there too. Mm-hmm. And then if you follow like the old rules of like demonic stuff and things like that, it says that a lot of demonic rooms or whatnot are associated with dead animals and a lot of carcasses, right. A lot of death, carcasses, a lot of scary, like that beehive on the ground, which is completely unusual. That was extremely weird. Right. And that's where we caught the shadow of the little girl. Or what seemed like a shadow, or what seemed like a little girl. Now, in the video, it looks like she peeks out from behind something, or does she peek out of the room, or does she peek around something that's in the room? It's something that's in the room. I think it's old AC vents, from what I can tell. We've been in there before, where the bees were not, swarming. Yeah. And I've gone back and I looked at where did she come out of, and it looks like it's an old AC vents. That go up on the ceiling. Right. Yeah, and she peeked out of there. So she must have been like fairly, very, very tiny, because those vents are low on the ground. Right. Yeah, they didn't look very big at all. Because I think like when you walk around inside of the room, well, is that one that's to the right side, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, they're about knee high. Yeah, it's not very, and I'm short, guys. I'm only 5'6", and it wasn't very tall at all. So a lot of good stuff that they were able to find. Now talk to us about some of the audio that you guys caught, like some of the things that you guys caught via audio.
Audio, not all the time does EVP get it, which is the audio recorder that we have in our hand. A lot of times the camera will catch it as well.
Really?
So on the Santa Fe Railroad video, you hear a voice come through the camera that says, relax, because we were freaking out that our truck was moving.
Yeah.
Rocky Hill, the arson house video, you hear a voice through the camera when Tappy asks, are you a boy or a girl? And then you hear the answer, the reply, girl.
So it was like a direct response.
Sometimes we'll get direct responses, sometimes we won't. There
Yeah.
was one in Hanford where Slick was in the room, and he was he stayed in there by himself. He was asking questions, and then as he leaves, you hear the boys. Well, okay, in that room, people reported there's a little boy that watches him sleep. The
Yeah.
spirit of a little boy watches him sleep.
Yeah.
So he was trying to communicate with that little boy. When he walked out, you hear the voice of I'm assuming would be the little boy that says, "Get out or stay out." I can't remember. I lost that video too.
Oh wow.
And that was a good one. So I'm thinking, hopefully, maybe sometime in the near future, talk to Slick again and go back and redo that investigation. There was good stuff there too.
That's neat, dude. So let's talk about some of the equipment you guys use. You mentioned something that produces white noise. Obviously, your camera and your EVP. But is there like specifics that you guys use? Like if you guys are using those white noise, what do you guys use for like the little to get the white noise? What do you guys use?
Well, I like I said, I started with just regular material, regular equipment that anybody can use, but it's not as good. So I started with a small little radio that anybody would use, like maybe at a studio apartment or for a job or something. Just a little radio. Put it on an 88 point something station where it's just white noise.
Yeah.
Then I'd use that. Sometimes I caught something, but it's very, very faint, and it's only one channel. So then as I kept investigating, I learned that the actual spirit box that they use is it scans through a lot of FM frequencies, and then like that you'll get a better response. And that's what Slick has. He has that equipment, and I borrow it a lot, and I rely on that equipment a lot. That's actually one of my favorite tools. That's why in some of my videos you'll hear a lot of the content is statics.
Right.
I love that tool, but
now
it's kind of annoying though. It's just white noise. So
right.
I'm trying to lean off of it.
How is it that I guess like for me, like when I watch it, obviously it scans through from what I see on TV, and then what you were explaining to me before we went and did ours. Was that it scans through a bunch of networks, through a bunch of like static white noise. How is it that those frequencies are able to pick up what would sound like a communication, like whether they're trying to communicate with you or respond to you? Like how is it that it's able to pick up those?
The energy that they say they use a lot of the energy, especially from the FM frequencies, because it has the energy on it, electricity,
sure.
And they use that as juice.
Okay.
And then also you'll hear us on I don't know if I have it on some of the videos, but in a lot of investigations I tell them, use my energy. If you need to suck my energy out to communicate or to make you stronger, go ahead. Sometimes I'll get a little daring, and I don't recommend people to do that.
Right.
But I do it just because, I don't know.
Have you ever felt drained afterwards, like when you've done that stuff?
At the pack warehouse, I felt drained. That's actually a scene on there where I have a huge headache, and I'm talking about I have this headache, and then they tell me, Tappy says, well, it's because you haven't ate. No, I ate. I ate hamburger helper.
You're right.
And that's where I was getting a headache. I believe I was getting drained.
Right.
And then you'll hear a response on the static on the SB7. You hear a growl, and then I get a little provocative, and I tell them that I don't like machistas, men that beat their women.
Right.
And then he gave me a response afterwards because I asked him, you didn't like what I said, did you? And he said, no. And then throughout the whole investigation after that, you hear they're always there. I see them. And then Slick caught an EVP, a very strong and clear EVP, where he asks, is anybody walking here or I'm walking? I forgot what he asks, but the response is, where? Loud and clear, crisp and clear.
Really?
So that was a strong EVP. And so the energy there was very strong. It obviously used some of mine.
Right.
And then it used the Amos effect, which is a little device in the beginning of that video that's just a high-pitched sound that feeds energy to whatever is lurking in there.
Really?
And that makes them stronger.
Oh, wow.
And gives us good evidence.
So with the spirit box being your favorite, and that's what, we're alluding to here. You guys used the recorders, and then you guys use your guys' camera. Now, your guys' camera that you guys use also uses night vision, correct?
Yeah, it has night vision.
And do you feel like that the night vision? Have you guys ever caught anything like on camera other than the girl?
I could look through my notes. I mean, I try to remember.
Just off the top of your head, because I mean, one of the things, guys, that that I was talking to Martin about when I first initially went over to his house when we were pre-gaming and everything, is he has this notebook, and it's broken down by time, by investigation. It's highlighted by completion. Because one of the things that they have to go through, and you got to remember, this guy works a full-time job. So does his crew, and they have to go through all this mountain of evidence. I mean, just ballpark the figure of how many investigations that you guys have had that you have not gone through everything yet.
Oh man, there's some that are not even written on the book. I just completely forgot about. There was one that I did. I'm gonna call it the Road 152 house. When we were there, I know that one's gonna be a video because I do remember a knock. We heard a very loud knock.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how it happened, but I remember talking to Tappy. I don't remember if we were doing questioning, like investigative, like asking ghost stuff, or we were just having a conversation. Because oftentimes, if we just sit there and have regular conversation, the spirits will join in.
Into a conversation?
Into a conversation. They'll either talk on the EVP, or they'll make a noise. So, me and Tappy were talking, or we were asking stuff, and all of a sudden, dong, dong, we hear a knock. Like, what was that? So that one I don't even have on the notes yet. I haven't reviewed that one. There's still stuff that I haven't reviewed, and I still gotta do that. I still gotta write it down on my notes, on my notebooks.
I mean, at least when I was looking at it through it, when I was looking through, you flip through the book and you were showing me like everything you guys have done, which is a lot. I mean, easily I'm gonna throw out like a figure like maybe 10 or 15 that I saw that you're like, I'm not even done with this. I'm not done with this. I haven't even started this. I haven't even started. Look at this was back in blah blah blah, like whatever year it was.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, holy smokes, dude! Like you have, but then like you were talking about that you guys are out there for, you guys can be out there from anywhere between an hour to a full night, just depending on the responses you guys get, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're there for an entire night and you guys are getting responses because you guys are hearing stuff via ear, or you guys are doing like live playbacks, listening to the audio recording and then picking up some EVPs, and you guys are getting stuff. I mean, that's potentially like 10 hours worth of evidence that you have to comb through. And that's just a lot, man. So how do you even get time to complete it? Like, let's talk about the Strathmore house. Let's talk about the first one you guys went. How long did it take you to go through all of that?
That one took me maybe 8 hours or so, 6 to 8 hours. But then again, I mean, you see the quality of that video. It's not organized and it's not a perfect edit.
Right.
We learned as we went. So today, the latest videos are much more organized, and those take a lot longer. Sometimes they'll take 2 days.
Yeah.
It's just, we record a lot of material, sometimes even an hour's worth of nonstop just recording. And then to go through that and listen to it and rewind, that 1 hour turns into 2 hours. Or maybe more. Just rewinding, listening, blasting up the volume on the TV just so we can hear. Oh, I thought I heard
the
something.
Smallest little thing.
The smallest little thing. And not only that, I already review the footage at high blast volume so I can hear the little thing and then amplify it later. Because sometimes, if they don't have enough energy, their voice will be very low on an EVP.
So low of a frequency that we can't even hear it, even if it's through amplified.
Even if it's through a device, an electronic device. So, because for them, the reason they need energy too is if they have no energy, for them to communicate with us, we'll hear it as a whisper, like for example, computer.
Right.
They're actually yelling because they are trying their hardest to communicate with us to relay that message. But we hear it as a whisper. That's how weak it is. That's how much amplification we need, and that's why I review in the high volume. Yeah. And then that will take a 1 hour clip will take an hour and a half or 2 hours just reviewing, rewinding, and then writing it down in my note. Okay, clip 209_001. The time 5 minutes 20 seconds. Description: walking on the floor, creaking.
Right.
That's just a note. And then when I watch the video again, I'll look at my note. Okay.
Like, hey, 520's coming up. I gotta listen out for this.
Yeah, reference to this. So what does that mean? Boom. Then I'll hear it. Okay. Boom. I know exactly what it is.
Right. And then you guys, is that also another way that we can debunk? Because it was freaky because like when we were doing our playback from our investigation, we did hear the like something that sounded like kind of like telling us either to be quiet or whatever, right? But we had remembered at that point that that's when Tappy was swatting the bees away because they were landing on him, so it was kind of like but I mean my heart sank like when I first of all when I heard it I was like, oh damn, we really caught something, and then I was just like, oh man, you know what? I was standing right next to Tappy and Tappy had and he had waved he tried to move it. I saw him try to move the recorder away, so like I mean obviously he doesn't want to record himself, but that's also a good way to point, like, oh, you know what? I hear walking, creaking on the floor, but I was moving. So is that also a way that you guys utilize that to debunk yourselves? In case anything you guys can speak?
Usually the general rule to debunk ourselves is we announce ourselves during the investigation.
Walking.
So if we're walking and then I happen to step on a twig, you hear that cracking, then I'll announce myself, oh, that was me stepping on twig.
Okay, so you guys call it out.
So we call ourselves out.
Okay.
Or anything else, and we hear a honk down the street.
Yeah.
So that we don't get confused later on in the video, we'll call it out. Oh, car honking down the street, outside.
Yeah.
And we'll always announce ourselves. They're supposed to. Oftentimes, a lot of people don't, and sometimes I'll forget. Sometimes Tappy forgets the most.
Yeah.
But I always call him out on it because I catch him. And then when I'm reviewing the video, I mean, if I didn't catch him, he didn't catch himself. I recognize him. I know his voice, so I'll know. Oh no, that was Tappy. He was coughing, or that was his stomach grumbling. His stomach grumbles a lot. Yeah. Because he's always hungry. So then, we recognize ourselves, so we'll call ourselves out during the review. Like, oh, okay, that was me. No, that was me, dude. That was my stomach. Oh, okay, cool, perfect. Okay. And then we'll mark it off.
Sweet, dude.
I've only had one live debunk on camera. That was when I investigated the Scranton Cemetery, the Vandalia Scranton Cemetery. I heard a loud bang, like boom, whoa, what was that? Yeah. Then I started to get closer to see what it was. I saw tail lights light up, and headlights turned on afterwards. And then the door shut, and then well, it was people doing chaka chaka in the cemetery. And then I debunked it, and it's on camera. I put it on the film. It's there just to show. We don't accept everything. We don't call everything like a little bug flying around. Oh, it's a ghost. No, we do debunk. We do take this seriously. We do. You do,
and when we were there, the amount of like attention to detail is obviously ex-military guys, right? So our attention to detail, and I saw yours when you're like, okay, you make every effort to show like the surroundings. You're like, okay, well look at this, and then. The floor, the top stairs over there was completely like garbage, right? Like walking up there, you feel like you're gonna fall through, but you're like, hey, boards over here. Look how steep this is, and just every little thing. And you guys were doing it, even if you guys weren't catching yourself. I was catching yourself. I was catching you guys, because Tappy was like, no, that's me, not. Because I would like turn really quick, and Tappy would like tap me on the shoulder, and he's like, that's me, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, because, I mean, at that point, my adrenaline was going, so I think my sense of, everything was just amplified, especially, like, my hearing and my sight, because, walking up the trail, it's dark outside. We're using flashlights, but still, your eyes do dilate, you do take in a lot more light, in the absence of it, right? So, any little thing, Tappy was right there telling me, like, hey, that's me, and then... So it was cool, and I appreciate the amount of effort that you guys put into these things, and I see the work, man. It's amazing. So let's talk about moving into the next question here that I have. Places that you guys have been. We talked about a couple of them and some of the stuff that you guys got. So after the Strathmore House first, what were some of the places that you guys started going?
Well, we investigated the Carnegie Museum with PGS, which is another paranormal group in Porterville. Okay. So there's that I know of. There's only 3 big paranormal groups in Porterville, which is Undisputed Paranormal, Paranormal Scavengers, and PGS, Porterville Ghost Society. Mm-hmm. We investigated with PGS at the Hanford Carnegie Museum. I only caught one thing, which was a tap on something. We don't even know what it was, but just the video's out there. You hear some knocking. What was that? Mike from PGS calls it out, and that was an invitation only too. So we went as invitation.
Okay.
We were guests. It wasn't really our investigation, but I only made the video of our section where I was there, caught something. That's all. It was a very short video.
Yeah.
We gone to Rocky Hill by Granite Hills High School in Porterville.
Okay.
Didn't really catch anything for the lynching rumors that we heard about there. There was always these stories about a house up in the hill. People used to lynch. We went up there to investigate it. Didn't really catch anything except for a picture. It looks like it's the shadow or the spirit of an old person back in the day. They got lynched, but for some reason it looks like he's wearing modern day clothes, an Adidas shirt or sweater.
Really?
To me is what it looks like.
Yeah.
We went back because I heard another story about a house that used to be up there. They burned a girl alive inside the house. The only thing we caught was girl. Whether the story is true or not, I don't know, but we caught the girl response. So maybe that's tied down to
through EVP.
Through the camera.
Through the camera.
Through the camera. So
you heard a sound through the camera that just said girl.
It just said girl. Tappy asked, "Are you a boy or a girl?" We caught a girl.
Male voice, female voice?
Sounds like female voice.
Okay.
Whether that's tied down to the burned house story, I don't know. Maybe it's something else that happened there because it wasn't specific to saying, "Oh, I got burned down."
Yeah.
But that's the story of that hill.
Okay. So just a lot of activity up there.
Yeah, that's just the one. Strathmore House is the one we've gotten the most activity. Just the first 3 times afterwards, I haven't really caught anything. The last time when we went, I feel like we haven't caught it. I still haven't reviewed the videos, and I still haven't reviewed any of the evidence. So, like I said, sometimes it takes me. We'll do an investigation today. I won't review it till 3 months from now. The video won't come out till next year. Yeah. It just takes forever. It's just a lot of stuff, and I still have to go through a lot of things. The CHMA Community Center down on Putnam Street, that one is heavily haunted. There's a video on it. We hear a woman moaning when we're leaving upstairs. I should have amplified that one, but I think you can hear it anyway. Maybe.
Is that the community center going towards Murray Park?
Yes.
Okay.
The one with the paint job on the front.
Right.
That one is heavily.
Wow, you guys investigated that. Videos up on it, right?
I have 2 videos of it.
Really?
One we investigated just outside, and even just by being outside, we heard footsteps, and I caught an anomaly flying over my head, and then I got hit by spiderwebs. And they say if you get hit by spiderwebs, if you're walking somewhere and there's like no way there can be spiderwebs here, but you feel like you have a bunch of spiderwebs on you, that means that either the spirit likes you or it's right next to you.
No kidding.
That's one of them, and the other one is also. You feel cold breeze, and then there's no open windows or no air vents, nothing.
There's nothing.
It's just a cold spot. That's a spirit standing right there next to you.
Wow.
But I felt the spider webs, and I've gotten that a lot too.
And there was no spider webs, like
there was no spider webs, no possible way of spider webs. I looked up, it's just dead cobwebs. But those are the ones that look like they're glued to the wall, and there's nothing hanging out. Yeah. And there was no live spiders. Yeah. And then on the video, anomaly right above my head, just as I felt the spider webs.
Really?
So I mean, put 2 and 2 together, put the pieces of the puzzle together.
Right.
It's paranormal. Has to be.
Wow.
Yeah, we've gone to people's homes, and obviously we won't post the video if they don't give us permission.
No names or anything like that, right?
Right. If they don't give us permission, we won't post the video. We won't make a video of it.
Right.
If they do, then we'll make a video of it.
Right. Have you had people be okay with you posting videos?
There was one, the Quayar attachment. That one was okay. We posted it up there.
Okay.
I took it down though recently, just because of the bad words, and I still need to edit it. Okay. But it'll be back up soon. Scranton Cemetery, I said that one. I got told to die by a camera EVP.
That picked up on the camera. So do you feel like you catch more EVPs via voice recorder or camera?
I feel like maybe it's kind of like 50-50, probably 50-75. It's hard to say, because I do catch a lot on the camera, and the EVP, I do catch a lot as well, but it's, that's a good question. I never thought of it. I think I do get a lot through the camera.
Through the camera?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I think per conversation, we were talking about, because we're watching videos before we even did the investigation. We're watching them on your TV. and you're like, oh yeah, the camera picked that up, but we didn't hear that.
Yeah.
You had made that comment, and then just talking here now, like you've caught more things on the camera, and why do you think that is? I mean, I'm assuming like the sound on the camera is really well, but I mean, so are these things. These things aren't to be discredited. I mean, a lot of people use those.
Well, I don't know. My voice recorder is just a regular voice recorder.
Just a regular standard Sony. I mean, you can probably pick one up for like what, $50?
Probably cheaper. Yeah, I got it at Radio Shack when Radio Shack was still in business.
Yeah.
My camera is more high definition though. I think it might have something to do with that. It's more high def. Yeah, the microphone is really great. I don't even have any additives on that camera. It's just the camera alone is just amazing.
Yeah.
I think that could have a lot to do with it.
That might be something you guys can look into. Maybe another camera, man.
I've been looking into it, but I've been looking into a 4K camera. I want to start making 4K videos.
That would be cool. Because you guys could probably, I mean, you guys probably already do it, where you guys set up like, what on TV they would call them an X camera, which would be just a stationary camera.
Yeah.
And then the camera that you guys have roaming around.
Yeah.
And then obviously just pick one with night vision, aim that, record an area while you guys are somewhere else, because that happens on TV a lot too.
It does happen.
You get activity that happens somewhere where you guys just aren't.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it be a sound, whether it be a movement, whether it just be an orb, or whatever the case may be. I mean, it goes to stance with the same thing that you can use in life is where the more eyes the better. Right?
Yeah.
That just acts like an extra set of eyes.
So I started using GoPro cameras as X cameras, and I have 2 of them. I have 3 of them, but one of them doesn't have good quality. It was one of the first ones. So I use the Hero 3 and the Hero 4 as my X cameras.
How's that been working?
The Hero 3 caught the woman moaning at the CHMA Community Center when we left. The Hero 4 caught a scoff and a giggle at the Cuellar attachment. Like something was laughing at us.
Like a mocking?
Like mocking. They were mocking us.
Yeah.
I used for the Strathmore House 2 video, part 2. I didn't have the GoPros, so I used my regular camera as an X cam.
Yeah.
So I placed that camera just stationary somewhere on the bottom floor.
Mm-hmm.
We all walked outside. We all left. We were outside across from that road, just a good distance away from the house, and we're just talking regular on the video. And you'll see I put 15 minutes out, 20 minutes out, 23 minutes out. You'll hear a bunch of noises, strong noises, too strong footprints, creaking, bangs, loud ones.
Really?
So that house is alone. It seems like you get a lot more activity. And then not only that, when we're recording too, you're tapping, bunch of tapping.
Really?
It's like whatever is there follows us, follows the camera.
Yeah.
And you just hear the tapping.
Wow.
So that house, it used to be heavily active. I don't know now. I need to review that footage. So if it's still active, I'll catch something.
Right.
If not, then it's not active. I think somebody might have cleansed it.
Right. So let's. Those are just a couple of the places that you guys have been. There's probably an infinite amount of lists of places that you guys want to go. But if you can just think of top 3 places that you guys would want to go, to visit, to investigate, what would those places be? The
Springville Inn in Springville, California. I want to investigate there really, really bad.
Yeah.
I talked to the people who own it now. They seem to be up for it. They said they're going to get back to me.
Yeah.
It's been almost a year now. I haven't heard from them.
Yeah.
So I'll probably need to go back there and talk to them again.
Yeah.
Maybe they forgot about it. Maybe they're just not interested.
Persistence is key, man.
Yeah, but I would love to investigate the Springville Inn.
Yeah.
Another place is an old hospital. I think it's a hospital in Tarabella. I'm still waiting on Slick from Paranormal Scavengers to get back to me on that one. He's got good connections with the curator of that place who said they're going to let us in, but the curator is out of town, and so he's out of town. We can't go.
Right.
Third place, I don't know. Can't think of anything. Those are the 2 main plays I want to do right now. I'm sure there's a third one.
But those 2 for sure.
The third one, those 2 for sure. The third one is Boise. I think it's called Boise or Bodie, California, somewhere up north by Lake Tahoe.
What's about that place?
It's an old abandoned mining town.
Oh.
The story goes that if people who visit there, okay, the people who used to live there, they left their stuff. They left all their stuff. I don't know what happened to them. I think either they moved out or they just died there. I'm not too clear on that story, but all their stuff seems to be there, like
like a Roanoke.
Like a Roanoke.
Roanoke, the old settlement on the East Coast. I can't remember the state that it is in, but like it was a village of people that lived there, and then just overnight they disappeared, and just one word was carved on a tree, and it was Croatoan.
Oh crap! I haven't heard of that one. But yeah, basically, I mean,
Yeah,
their
same,
stuff is
same.
still there. Like a Chernobyl, their furniture is still there. TV, everything's still there.
Really?
And some people, they'll have tours. The park ranger will have tours of that place, and people who go check it out, they'll see something that they like. Oh, this cool book. I'm taking it. So they
Ooh.
take it, and now they have a bunch of bad luck. When they get home, nothing but bad luck. They seem to be haunted.
Right.
The only way to get rid of that curse is to return the thing with an apology letter. So, from what I understood and read, is there's a lot of apology letters there from people who returned the material. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I didn't know any better. I returned your things. Please leave me alone.
You know, that sounds like I don't know the island, and I don't know the story or what it is behind it, but if you go to Hawaii and there's a particular volcano or mountain that if you take anything from it, you get bad luck until you return. And I think it's mainly rocks, the volcanic rocks. So if you take something from it, you get hit with bad luck. The local lore says that you have to return it, and you have to apologize. It's kind of like the island spirit is what gives you guys what gives people the bad luck. So that's crazy. It's crazy how all these things kind of like seem very similar. You know what I mean? Like there's that, and then the mining town that just up and disappears reminds me of Roanoke.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
So like the Egyptians too. If you take some of their stuff, they'll haunt you. That's what they put rattlesnakes and bugs on the coffins and whatnot.
All kinds of stuff. The
That's
scarabs
same
and things. Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. So those are the three places that you want to go, and you talked a little bit about your experiences overall. Before we wrap things up, let's talk about like what do you get out of this? Like, do you do it just for the sake of, do you guys do it just for the sake of, hey, let's go do it, it's pretty cool, or do you guys just want to be able to provide some information and some evidence to people that are probably like, nah, this stuff doesn't exist, like this stuff is just in your heads, or is there another reason, or is there another purpose as to why paranormal investigating, other than curiosity?
That was gonna be my answer.
Just curiosity. It's just curiosity.
Other than curiosity, because it started off as curiosity, and then now that you see that there is something there, now it's just more. I mean, you go there, it's an adrenaline rush. I was afraid at first. I was always scared.
Right.
Now it's just an adrenaline rush. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
And now it's just let people know that there is something out there, and then not only that, but some of these spirits, from what I've learned too, through just by doing it, they're trapped.
Yeah.
They want to relay a message to you,
right?
To somebody, and once they do that, they'll feel free, and then maybe they'll go on to whatever else is out there, whatever else is next. So in a way,
kind of like an unfinished business.
Unfinished business. So in a way, I feel like maybe I'm helping them by helping them relay the message through our
capturing
videos, their message on our devices and putting it on public display.
Yeah.
And then just to let some people know. I mean, look, there's something else out there. There's paranormal things going on, whether you believe it or not. I mean, I understand people don't believe it because you're watching it on TV. Everybody's a skeptic. I go in as a skeptic. I try to debunk as much as I can through science.
Were you a skeptic before you even did any of this?
I was, sort of. I was mainly a skeptic and sort of still wanted to believe.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in. I go in as a skeptic all the time. I always thought, well, maybe they're amplifying too much, like these TV shows or these other groups. They're emphasizing too much.
Yeah.
Maybe they caught something who it turned out to be it was just them. But then as I learned it, you call yourself out.
Right.
And then,
do you feel like with these shows, and I'm not discrediting anything, because at the end of the day, I was never a skeptic. I'm Hispanic. So you grow up with, there's this, there's that, there's this, don't do this because this will get you and blah, 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 the kukui.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, to a degree, there was that little part of me that was like, is this real? But then it's kind of like, you know what, dude, I'm not gonna completely rule it out because, you know, my dad has experienced stuff, and you know, obviously you can sit there and you can tell stories like, hey, you know, this happened or this happened, and it can be completely false. But when you tell stories that he has this look in his face where it's like, dude, I mean, we know the look, right? You can give 1,000-yard stare and you're like, dude, you've seen some shit, right? Well, sometimes when my dad's telling those stories, he gets that look and I'm like, dude, you have seen something that you can't explain it. So when I see those, I'm like, I mean, has stuff happened to me? I mean, the only things that I've ever experienced is sometimes things make noises and I can't explain it. People can sit there and say water heater. Guys, I'm not dumb. I know what a water heater sounds like. I know what it sounds like when the people upstairs are using water and I can hear the pipes. Like, I'm used to ambient noises that are regular.
Yeah.
But when there's something that is stationary, and it's been stationary for, you know, probably the good part of a year because it's a light, but then it just moves suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just weird to me. You know, or you know, when I was at Bragg, this is where my oh moment happened. So my roommate, who was a really good buddy of mine, we were I think we met in BFIT or AIT. I think we met in AIT. So we were in our room and we found out like how old Bragg is. Obviously, you know, I mean, it's been around for a while. And, you know, you hear kind of the stories that go around, you know, and stuff like that. So he comes home one day out of the blue, and he has a freaking voice recorder. I'm like, oh, what the hell is that? He's like, we're investigating our room tonight. I was like, bro, I got to sleep here. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And he was like, no, we got to find out. He's like, I'll even leave the camera on my laptop, you know, go in at night, right? Because I was gone out of the room, and he experienced something. Like, and he to this day, I really don't know because he really kind of hasn't told me. But it was good enough to the point where he went in and bought one of those things. He went and bought, like, video editing software, and he got a camera for his computer because that was before they came out with webcams, right? So
that's right.
he went and bought his own. So he did his thing. We caught nothing. But the very next night, you know, I'm on the phone. He's over on his side of the room, and he's already, like, tucked in. He's just watching his laptop, you know, before he goes to bed or whatever. Because I had the TV on my side. Well, I'm turning over, I'm on the phone, and I feel a full handprint. Like, when someone touches your shoulder, you know that someone's grabbing your shoulder. It's not like, hey, you know, it's wind, or it could have been the AC. Look, I know where the AC vent is at in my room. I know where it's at, and I know where it hits every time, and it's the foot of my bed.
Yeah.
So for it to grab my shoulder, technically it was a grab, because I can feel fingers close in, and then it released. Kind of just like a, hey. Kind of like what you would do like to wake somebody up. You grab their shoulder and you're like, hey, but without the shaking. And I turned over and I was like, what's up, Mike? And I looked and he's not there. He's sitting on the other side of the room, still in his bed. There's no way he could have moved that fast for how fast I turned around. The next morning we get back and I looked at him and I was like, you're not fucking doing that again because I want to sleep and I don't want to be woken up. He's like, holy crap, did that really happen? No, that just amplified it. Curiosity grew. My curiosity instead of fear started happening, and that's when he started doing it. We never caught anything. Other than that happening to me, we've never caught anything. But that was good enough for me to be like, all right, guys, I can't explain that. I can't explain why a handprint grabbed my shoulder.
Yeah, I felt some of that stuff too. It touched my elbow going up to one investigation. I don't remember where it was, but I remember I was driving, already looking for a parking spot.
Yeah.
Touched my shoulder. I mean, my elbow.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, what was that? Look back. Nothing there.
Yeah.
The only passenger was Tappy on the driver's side.
Yeah.
And then you said something about you guys investigated but you caught nothing, and that's what happens. That's another downside to paranormal investigating.
Yeah.
You'll go to a known haunted location and catch nothing that night.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll catch stuff, other nights you won't at that same place. And some other paranormal groups, what I don't like that they do is because they caught nothing that night.
Yeah.
They'll
discredit it.
They'll discredit it. They'll call that place, it's not haunted, nothing happens there. We investigated it, we found nothing. So if we go another night and we catch something, they'll call us liars.
Right.
No, we investigated and we caught nothing. Well, just because you investigated it doesn't mean that there's nothing there. You just had a bad night.
Well, see, and that's perfect. You know, and I think I diluted from the point I was going to make to not discredit, you know, like other, you know, paranormal groups. But do you feel like, for the sake of TV, that maybe they do things to make it seem like, hey, you guys, we spent all this money coming here, we have to give a show or something, and even though we don't have anything, let's try to give something. Do you feel like sometimes it's rigged?
Some of the people from that TV show on Travel Channel, they did an interview and I read about it, and they did say that the Travel Channel was making them fake some of the stuff just for material. So he admitted it. Yeah, sometimes we had to go on the recorder and just do voices because it's TV.
Because it's TV. They want viewers. They want something.
They want ratings. They want viewers. They want, they're getting paid big money for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had to fake it. We are not getting anything out of it.
So there's no reason for you guys to.
There's no reason for us to fake anything. We don't get paid. We don't make any money. We don't make any money out of this.
Right.
I mean, yeah, YouTube channel will pay you if you're a YouTuber, regular YouTuber, and make a full time out of it.
Right.
But we're not full time YouTubers. I only got 2 subscribers right now on YouTube because I just had to restart the channel again.
Yeah.
Our Facebook page doesn't have many followers.
Yeah.
It's just a hobby.
Started from scratch. Yeah.
Started from scratch. It's a hobby. I don't do it for any money. I don't get paid for it. There's no point in any of us. There's no point in us faking any of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I was there. So, I mean, there's no way to... I guess that's part of the reason, too, I wanted to go was like, well, let's see how this is done. And, for you guys to do it the way that you guys did. No, we didn't catch anything, but as per our conversation, when we were sitting out on that rock when we were done and wrapping things up, you won't catch things on this time. You won't catch this on that time. There's no science behind it. I mean, it's like fishing. You're just throwing a lure out there, and if you get something, you get something. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
But you can't discredit for, because in essence, kind of like what you're doing is like if someone says, hey, come investigate this place, it's haunted, I experienced this. But you go there and you don't experience anything and you say, no, this place isn't active, you're in essence calling people liars. And I guess that's, I mean, it would be fair to say that's not what the business that you're in is, to call people liars.
That's not the business
but
that I'm in.
to try to get what you can, right?
Yeah, we just get what we can. If we didn't have, if we know there's a location that there people are reporting, oh, stuff happens here.
Yeah.
And we go, we caught nothing. So, for example, Lover's Lane, which is Road 140, and I forgot the cross street, sort of the B. There's a story about a headless biker.
Mm-hmm.
We went, caught nothing.
Right.
But just because we didn't catch anything
doesn't mean it doesn't
mean
exist.
it's not there.
Right.
We just had a bad night.
Right.
So I didn't even make a video out of it because we caught nothing.
Yeah.
But other people have reported, we hear the motorcycle, we see it passing by, it chased us. I've read stories, it chased us down the cornfield, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I mean, they experienced it.
Right.
So they got lucky that night, or unlucky, however you want to see it.
Sure.
But we didn't catch it.
Yeah.
We didn't catch it that night. Doesn't mean that the stories are false.
Right.
So there, like I said, there's groups out there. I'm not gonna name them, but there's some in Porterville that will do that because they didn't catch it and we did. They'll call us liars and they'll accuse our legitimacy. They'll attack our legitimacy.
Wow. Yeah, that's not fair. I think there's a lot of room for growth. You can't just sit there and knock other teams that are trying to do it, because I mean the best thing you guys can do is possibly collab. I mean that's what ultimately, like with the podcast, and we were talking before the podcast a direction that we would like to go with it. We do the sports thing, but I mean obviously there's other ways that we can do this. Obviously we're doing this paranormal investigation episode with you today, just to like branch out. There's no harm in networking. There's no harm in putting your name out there. So
yeah.
All right, man. So let's tell the people like where they can find you, what they can do to follow you, and I guess I'll have one more question after that. So let's talk about how people can find you.
You can find us on Facebook. Mostly everybody has Facebook these days. Just type in Undisputed Crew. We should pop up right there on one of the first links.
Yeah.
Hit like, follow us. I'll post links to our YouTube page. If you don't have Facebook, you can look us up on Facebook. Undisputed Crew 1 is the direct link. But if you just type in Undisputed Crew, you'll see us. It's a little circle with the 3 green letters, UND. There's other crews out there called Undisputed. I don't know what they are.
Right.
There's like dance crews out there and an old female race team out there.
Mm-hmm.
But you can check them out too if you want. But for us, the green 3 letters UND with the black background, that's our channel. You can subscribe to that channel, and I ask that you subscribe, like, and comment, because the more supporters, the more views that we get. I know that we're not just doing this for nothing, and I know there's people out there that want to see our stuff.
Sure.
And that's what motivates us to keep going out there and keep making videos, and that's what will keep my motivation up to review this stuff and keep making videos.
So YouTube, Facebook, any Instagram, Twitter, anything like that, maybe in the works?
No, not in the works at all. I just stuck to Facebook and
Facebook
YouTube.
and YouTube. All right, man. So there's that. I had a question, but I didn't write it down, so shame on me for doing that. But yeah, guys, go and find the Undisputed crew. You can find them again on YouTube, on Facebook. Just type in Undisputed. Black background, green letters, UND is what you're looking for. You'll also see some shares from the Blue 52 podcast, sharing their links, as well as my personal account. I'll be doing that as well. So if you guys are interested in that. Oh, that was a question. Are you guys open to, inviting maybe like a small group of people to go and do investigations?
We are. We've had open investigations before, and they've turned out successful. We do want to do another one, but we don't know where yet, and something I'll have to talk with Slick. I'm from Paranormal Scavengers. That's another Porterville paranormal team from Porterville. We teamed up together. He saw my work, I saw his work. We teamed up. We liked what we saw, and we're just two teams collaborated together, and then we go investigations together. And whatnot. We're two separate teams, but we're teams.
Sure.
We're partners. Partners is the word I'm looking for.
Cool.
So I'll have to talk to him about a future open investigation. He's brought it up before. We just haven't really come up with something yet.
Yeah.
But we'll think of something, and I'll for sure post it online on Facebook.
Well, there you guys go. If you guys want to get in on the action, you guys have some questions, you guys have this little itch to find out if there really is something out there, or if there's something that you can see, or if there's something that you have questions about. This is an opportunity that I think is pretty cool for you guys to get out. Again, like I did it. I had my questions, I had my curiosity, and it got the best of me, and I went out there. And I think with that little bit of time that I spent with them, I think it was enough to answer the questions that I had. So you guys are only going to find that out through social media. So make sure you guys go to Facebook, go to YouTube, and make sure you guys check out the links and stay updated with the Undisputed crew. That way you guys will know when this investigation pops up. So if that's going to be it, man, we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode. Again, I'd like to thank Martin Zamora, who is my guest today of the Undisputed crew, for coming by and talking paranormal today. You guys have a great week, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.